famous people on Nofap. As I was researching this video, I was quite honestly surprised. I said, wow, there are so many people that I have looked up to and that I've been inspired by that were actually on Nofap this whole time. They've been abstaining from PMO and fapping together for the same collective reason. They wanted success. It's very, very simple. If you want to become famous, you need to be successful. And to become successful, you need to make a huge sacrifice. Nofap is the biggest sacrifice because you're giving up such easy pleasure for a long-term success in your life, and that will give you more motivation, more energy, more testosterone, and a lot of mental clarity that you need to do to focus on your craft and become an expert at whatever you want to be in life. These people will cut out any distraction to get to where they want to be, and the very first person on this list is actually rather strange. Rapper 50 Cent. Yes, I couldn't believe it either. He talked about girls, money, and cars, but he was actually on Nofap this whole time. He said masturbation is a sin, fool, and God is watching you. So his 4 steps on Nofap that he clearly stated on Twitter was: number 1, stop watching porn. I had to bleep that out because I'm going to get demonetized. You guys feel me? So his first step was to stop watching that stuff, and that's obviously a big part of Nofap. Step number 2 is to make a conscious decision to not look back at people when you walk past them. Honestly, I do this in my daily life and it does help out a lot. Just keep your head up and do not look down wherever you do. Be strong mentally and it'll increase your self-discipline so much. The third step is to stop going to strip clubs, and I don't think GTA 5 counts, so we're both good. And then step number 4, which doesn't really apply today because it's to stop looking at lust-filled magazines, which nobody does anymore. It's 2019. The second person which I admire greatly, this is my favorite person on all of planet Earth, Jordan Peterson. This man is the world's greatest clinical psychologist. He's taught at Harvard and many other universities. He says that it's all reward with no responsibility, and that's cancerous. That's just like any other drug would be to you. He says that it's an easy out. It makes you embarrassed, ashamed, socially isolated, and it's just not good. In his words, it's not good. So he didn't personally say that he's on Nofap, but he talks so bad about PMO that you can kind of understand that he is. He says that what we should be doing as young men is going out to speak to women and actually have a real intimate relationship like we've been doing for the last 1,000 or so years, instead of just going into your bathroom, pleasuring yourself and leaving, which is kind of beta. It's kind of weak. He says that we have to go out and speak to real people and put ourselves in those situations that will actually let us grow and be uncomfortable, which is extremely healthy. The next person is a shocker, Steve Jobs. He's actually practicing semen retention, which I'm pretty sure his wife said that he was, and it's actually like Nofap, but just 12 times harder, where you just never release. He said that when the iPad first came out, he didn't want to be any porn on there. He said, if you want porn, go buy an Android. And that's a pretty bold statement to make. As the founder of Apple, you're sending your customers elsewhere because your moral duty and obligation as a man is to not support a bad industry like the porn industry. So he said, yeah, I mean, if you want porn, buy an Android. I respect that, dude. I mean, even though they can go watch it on their computer or their Android or whatever other tablet or electronic device they had, adding that barrier from Apple was such a great duty of him, and it helped people out so much because it just added that one single barrier that probably stopped at least one person from watching it. The next person is Muhammad Ali. An Olympic coach once said, there is the kid named Cassius Clay, which was Muhammad Ali's name before he changed it to Muhammad Ali. There's a young kid named Cassius Clay. If you bet on him every time he fights, you'll be a rich man. I believe his thing is sexual control. Any kid who can control his sex can win the title. It's important that he wasn't having sex before fights, just like Manny Pacquiao did, which I'll get into next. He wasn't having sex before fights because that will increase his self-discipline and it'll increase his testosterone, which is exactly what you need before a fight. You need to be as mean and as strong and as powerful and as energetic as you possibly can be to get inside that ring and knock your opponent out. He's literally fighting for his life, so if he's fighting for his life in a boxing ring and he's abstaining from sex, then if you can put that into your work life or your school life or whatever hobby or passion you have, then it'll increase your productivity and make you so much stronger mentally. Manny Pacquiao follows a strict no wife policy, which is actually pretty cool, before a fight. So his coach tells him to go at least 10 days without sex before a fight. That's what he tells all of his clients. But Manny Pacquiao takes it a step further, just like how I'm doing right now, getting close to 1 year. Manny Pacquiao says, I'm not going to go 21 days without sex before a fight. And that's pretty strong as a grown man. So he goes 21 days without sex so that he can increase his testosterone, just like Muhammad Ali does. Like I said earlier, if all of these fighters are doing it, there's a good reason for it. It makes them stronger mentally and physically. And if you can use that in your life, it will make you stronger as well. The next person is Nikola Tesla. Yes, the guy that you've heard about in school, your teachers have told you about him. The whole world knows about this guy. He has over 300 patents under his name, and he's invented many things in his life. And he couldn't get near that success. He couldn't be in all of these textbooks if he was fooling around sliding in girls' DMs back in 1915 when there was no DMs. There were just pigeons flying in the air with paper. He actually said, "I do not think you can name many great inventions that have been made by married men." By saying that, he means that if you're married, then you're obviously having sex, you're thinking about your wife, you're having a family, you're putting time into your family, and you're putting money into your family. And if you don't use any of that and you use it all for yourself, then you can be extremely mentally powerful and successful. I mean, I'm not saying to not go ahead and have a family, but if you don't have a family and you use it all for your needs of becoming a famous inventor or becoming a famous person, then it's actually possible, just like how he did. The last person which I also look up to very much is Russell Brand. He actually wrote a book on recovering from addiction, and to sell that book, he made a video talking about how people are addicted to PMO and watching. He used that as a point to sell his book, to say that, look, if you're addicted, I have this book here to help you out. He also went 2 months on a sex diet, which he does often regularly, which is actually pretty cool because he wouldn't fap and he wouldn't have sex just to get done what he needs to get done, like write that book and become a famous actor. A notable mention would be Mike Tyson. That man went 5 years without sex. That's probably why he was such an amazing boxer and knocked out all of his opponents. Just think about this. So many famous people that we've been over today actually stepped away from sex so they can focus on their craft. And if you're doing that right now, kudos to you, man. That's exactly the journey that I'm on. And if you want to follow more people that are on the same journey as you, I have a Discord chat. And by the way, I'm giving away 200 Nofap bracelets, kind of like the one that I'm wearing right now. I'm giving away 200 of them, so if you want to find out more about that, I'll be giving them away in my live streams at every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and also in my Discord chat with over 860 Nofappers. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please stay tuned, hit the bell. Please just hit the sub button and the bell, I beg of you. My name is Alex. Stay dreaming, stay lucid. I'm out. Peace.